Franc. Tiffany is a student at the University of Baltimore School of Law, and I had the pleasure of just meeting her just for a few minutes, and she is delightful. She's a graduate of Frostburg State University and currently a law clerk at the firm of Coates, Passett & Katz. Tiffany has a unique story which she will share with you. And it will be a story that is especially meaningful to those of you who have come to the courtroom today, because Tiffany is going to share her experience as a child who came through the foster care system here in Baltimore County and who was adopted and now is a rising star. So that makes it so much more meaningful to all of us, I believe, and we're just really honored that Tiffany is willing to share her story and to serve as an example to our kids who are in foster care and to families who have adopted. She's here with her sister, who was also adopted by out of the Baltimore County Department of Social Services, and I believe that Tiffany's sister's parents are here with her today, and Tiffany's parents are enjoying a partial retirement life in where they spend time in Arizona. Now, who would not want to be in Arizona on this rainy day? But anyway, but it is all about family, it's about the supportive system, and it's about how you step into the lives of a child who needs you, and then that child then becomes part of an extended family. So inspiring. And this little guy, I really hope he's going to be spoken for today, because I think everybody wants to take him. So let me step back and let Tiffany come forward and share her story. Thank you very much.
I've never really had the opportunity, so I really welcome the opportunity. I thank the committee, I thank Secretary Donald and Judge Hennigan for the opportunity to be in front of all of you today. I want to start off my speech this morning by giving you some facts about myself. I was born on December 1st, 1982, the same day my older sister Kelly was born 14 years earlier. We share not only a birthday, but we're often told that we look alike. I have 10 nieces and nephews, 2 of which are boys with blonde hair and blue eyes that I've been told look so much like me that I could be either their mother or their sister. I have 2 baby teeth still in my mouth that have never fallen out because there's not adult teeth underneath of them. It's not something you often hear. My dentist tells me that it's hereditary. And my mother has the same 2 teeth in her mouth, actually, that are still baby teeth. I wear glasses, as you can see, as do both my mother and father. I have a hot temper, and I'm often impatient, very much like my dad. I love sports, and I get this from my older brother, Scott. And I'm told by my mom that I get my intellect and my confident demeanor from my older brother, Michael. You see, families share many similarities, looks, personalities, and even health issues. However, the only thing I don't share with any of the individuals I just spoke about is DNA. I was put in foster care when I was 3 years old and adopted by my foster family at the age of 12. I was one of the lucky children. I remained in the same foster home my entire life. My parents took foster children for approximately 25 years. I experienced being the youngest child, the middle child, and the oldest child at various points in my life. I entered their home at the age of 3, not understanding the term abuse or the term neglect, and without the knowledge that the reasons I was taken from my biological parents were very serious and their acts were very wrong. At the same time I was put in foster care, my younger sister Samantha was also placed in foster care. Unfortunately, we were placed in separate homes. However, fortunately for her, she too was adopted by her foster family. As I aged in the Department of Social Services, the department attempted to terminate my biological parents' rights in order to put me up for adoption. Unfortunately, that termination never occurred, and reunification of the family was always the goal. While I was in foster care, my biological parents had 4 more children. I was required throughout this entire process to have visitation with my parents. And during that time, I got to know my younger siblings. In the early 90s, I began to realize more and more how horrendous the things that happened to me as a child were, and decided that I in no way wanted to be reunited with my biological parents. The Department of Social Services was denied the ability to terminate their parental rights, and I was watching television one night and saw a story out of Florida about a boy named Gregory K. His family also did not give up their parental rights to him, and he decided to, what they referred to back then, divorce his parents. His divorce was granted, and he was ultimately adopted, and it made news all over the country. I decided that's what I wanted to do. If my parents would not give up their legal rights to me, I would force their hand. With the help of a local family law attorney here in Baltimore, I filed a petition on my own requesting to divorce my parents. On the day the trial was set to begin, my biological parents consented to my adoption, and I wasn't given the chance to make legal history here in Maryland. However, I got something much better than that. I got a stable, loving, incredible family that I knew wouldn't abuse or neglect me and would love me unconditionally. I was adopted by my foster parents, Ray and Darlene Myers, in 1994. Shortly after my adoption, my younger sister Samantha had her adoption. We grew up for the most part having contact with one another. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case with my 4 other younger brothers and sister. It was very hard to be away from them and not be allowed contact, but I knew they were in a life that I couldn't be a part of any longer, and that it was the state's responsibility to ensure their health and safety for the future. Today, 2 of my younger brothers are 16 and 18, and were adopted by a foster parent of their own. I have a younger sister who is now 13, and she too was adopted by foster parents in North Carolina. My family story is one of great tragedy and even bigger triumph. I was lucky enough to be removed from the bad family environment I had when I was 3 years old. 4 of my younger siblings were subjected to and lived in the worst conditions, experiencing the worst kinds of abuse for 12, 14, and 16 years. One of the things that has stuck with me my entire life is the saying that no matter how bad you have it, someone always has it worse. I've always felt that I owe it to my adoptive parents, myself, and really the world to do something bigger with my life than sit back and ask everyone to have pity on me because I was abused. I was removed from... Today, I'm a full-time law clerk, part-time law student, a wife, and most recently, I added the term mother to my resume. I have all my life realized that family is the most important thing you have in your life, and I hope everyone here today realizes the gravity of these adoption proceedings that you are engaging in. To the children that are being adopted today, I must say that you are some of the luckiest children. The parents that are here with you today chose you to be their child. They chose you to give you their unconditional love. Take that love and never look back. Having a blood relation with someone doesn't make that relationship any more valuable than another. It is the love, understanding, and nurturing of the people here with you today that will mold you into an incredible human being. Do not let anything in your past dictate your future. Many of you have overcome so much in your lives already. Don't let those tragedies mold your future. I stand before you today as someone that can attest to the fact that no matter what is in your past, you can overcome anything and achieve everything. There are people in the world that expect foster children to fail. They expect children of violence to perpetuate violence. You are no longer a part of that world. You are now the child of the parents who have adopted you today. You are now a child who can and will grow up to be someone special and do great things in the world. There is no excuse for you to be anything but incredible. To the parents that are adopted today, you are providing the children with stability they may not have much experience with. You have today agreed to love them unconditionally. A part of these children are yours now forever. Be gentle with them. Some of them have experienced hurts that you may never understand. But never treat them with kid gloves. Push them to achieve and help them realize their goals. Treat them like your own flesh and blood because the people who were their blood couldn't provide the love that you can. They will never experience the bonds of blood relations again in their lives. This is something they may struggle with as they get older, but it is not a testament of your love. I know when I was in middle school, being a foster child and being adopted was the most embarrassing thing that I could have ever had to talk about. But as I've gotten older, I've become so proud of the fact that I was a foster child and that I was adopted. Because my story isn't just about me. It's about my biological siblings and it's about my adoptive parents. Don't take either of the instances of them either being embarrassed or overly proud as a negative feeling about your relationship. As I have grown up, I want to tell everyone my story, partly because I feel so strongly that my adoptive parents are heroes, and I want the world to know about their selfless acts. Congratulations to all of you again today. This begins a new chapter in your lives.